Well, I think that Wayra exists because Telefonica realizes that we live in a world in which research and development by itself is not going to identify all of the trends of the future. That the recent history has shown that usually startups are the generators of new ideas that disrupt entire industries. So better to work with them than against them. And so Wayra is a way to kind of have access to a market of startups and begin a conversation with Telefonica.
I think there's a tremendous opportunity for large corporations like Coca-Cola to partner with startups. What startups bring is speed and agility, which is something that is a challenge for larger organizations. And because of the speed and agility, they can deliver and process products and solutions much quicker than a corporation can. And what a corporation gets out of it is the access to new technologies and new business models that would traditionally take them much longer and cost them a lot more money.
It's definitely a question of culture. You know, we thought about corporation as a very old-fashioned system, and we definitely think that startup is a good way to develop the open innovation approach. And that's the things we are doing at Starbucks and with Impulse Partners. We help the different startups to work with the corporations. They need each other, and we encourage this kind of cooperation. Regarding the different startups, it's hard because we have up to 47 right now. But I would say one of my favorites is Safety Line, which is one of the tremendous startups in the aerospace field. They are working very closely with different airship manufacturers and airlines. And with the strong works and the right connection with the right people in the right company, they definitely built a very huge startup which can help different airlines to save a lot of money, up to 50 billion euro per flight.
A success story is our Wanolo startup in San Francisco, who recently received a sizable round of financing from VCs, from very formidable VCs. And the reason they received this was because they're solving a problem that many corporations are facing. And it started with a problem that Coca-Cola was having, but was going across industries. And it wasn't something that was initially, call it, on our radar, but the founders came up with the idea and then scaled it inside of our company.
Well, I can think of two. One would be a company that we have called Altissima, which is a serial entrepreneur that was a venture partner at one of Europe's top funds, decided to come to Wayra because he wanted to access Telefonica's infrastructure or networks in Brazil and in Latin America. And so since it was an e-health platform, and e-health is important to us in Latin America, he generated a few $1 million in revenue, as well as accessing a lot of our customers. Similarly, we have another company that has a queue management system. We found out that that was really relevant to Telefonica. We have a lot of retail stores. People come in, they don't want to wait in lines. So we have this system. These are two guys that basically came in as hackers at a hackathon. Within a couple of years, they're now potentially rolling it out to 5,000 stores throughout Europe and Latin America.
I would say they understand the business problems because you've been working with senior executives already, so you really understand the problem and the challenge that should be solved. And you, because of your wide network, will likely have a company in your portfolio that will be able to address that particular problem, and you can move with the speed that many corporations won't be able to do.
I think it's really, really important because I think sometimes, you know, I take it for granted that corporates know how to innovate, but I think that part of what I saw at the speed dating session that we just did is that a lot of corporates don't even know where to begin. So I think that having someone that can help them to take those initial steps and to kind of correct their thinking, or at least a brainstorm, is really, really useful. I mean, I think that like the session that we just had now about putting corporates to actually articulate their needs and then see how they can solve them by using either startups or other corporates is really, really useful.
Actually, I was very interested to meet D-Raft because we are quite similar. We have different approach because we are focusing on a technical subject, construction, energy and aerospace. But basically we have the same philosophy, and I will be very glad if we can continue this cooperation and work each other.
I was really happy to see all those corporations joining us today. Great speakers, and also great workshops that help them develop interesting new partnerships. So I can't wait to see the success stories that we can develop based on the meeting we had today.